This will be a brief video describing 3 key features created for Molpus Timberlands. The 3 features we'll look at are buffer in the field, buffer polygon, and then offset with bearing. We'll be using an Asteri X4i with Orbitos correct for this test. So therefore we're going to be in the middle of a parking lot so we can see our accuracy over these parking lot lines. If you look at the top left-hand side of the screen, we actually have a 1/4 inch accuracy right now for this test. The first thing we're going to do is set the quick feature settings. We're going to set this to collect once a second or once every meter. Once we set that, we can then begin collecting our normal quick feature, and you can see it dropping a position once every meter. This is probably a little too much for forestry, but it works good for this parking lot example. Once we hit stop, we're going to select that we're collecting an RMZ, and we're going to come in here and tell it to do a 10-foot buffer. Once I've done that, I can click on the feature and click the buffer button. It goes out to the internet and runs a perfect buffer along that line. You can see it puts a line on the left and a line on the right. We can then navigate over to that one on the right, and you can see I'm perfectly along this line, and then I could walk along and flag this line. We put one on both sides. Keep in mind that feature does require internet connection to run that buffer. Once the buffer's been created, though, it'll run completely offline just like the rest of our features. So that was our first feature that we call buffer in the field. That's great for buffering any linear feature that you may need to see a linear offset on either side in the field. As long as we have an attribute buffer distance, it will buffer any quick feature that we have like that. To show the next advanced feature, we're going to use quick features again, but this time we're going to move a little bit further on the parking lot and start collecting another linear quick feature. Once we're done collecting this quick feature, we hit stop again. This time I'm going to call it a stand line, but I'm going to say it belongs to Polygon B. I'm going to put a buffer distance of 10 feet. I'm also going to put a stand ID on this one. I'm just going to call this stand 1. Now I move to my next line segment on my polygon. I start collecting again. We're going to jump ahead a little bit. You can see I'm now finished with my second segment. I'll call this an RMZ. And again, I'm going to say it belongs to Polygon B. My stand ID is 1. And I'm going to put a 20-foot buffer distance on this one. Then I'm going to begin collecting my third side of this polygon. There's unlimited number of sides that you could collect on these polygons. Obviously, I'm going to choose to do just a simple 4-sided polygon. Wherever we end, it will close off the polygon. So we're going to need a minimum of 2 segments for this to work, but you want to be as accurate as possible. When I finish this one, I'm going to call it a road edge. It's going to belong to Polygon B. I'm going to put my buffer distance as 0 on this one because I don't want to offset on the road. And again, stand ID 1, end. And I'm going to collect my 4th part of the polygon. I'm going to jump a little bit ahead in the video to show you the very end. You can see I didn't actually go all the way back to my beginning line. It's going to close the polygon wherever I end. Again, I think I'm going to call this the stand line. I'm going to put stand 1 once again, belongs to B, and I'm putting my buffer distance of 10 feet once again. Okay, so I'm done with that portion. What I'm going to do is move on to the third feature. Again, that's called polygon buffer, but you won't see the polygon buffer until we do the export, which we'll show you in just a second. So I'm navigating over here to kind of in the middle, right along the straight line in the middle of the parking lot. This time I'm going to collect a location. So I'm not collecting a quick feature. I'm calling this a pole. It's irrelevant what we call the point. The line type is called Molpus. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk out here to another point along this straight line. And I'm going to collect another location. Okay, now you can see a line forming. What I'm going to do is now go to our grid view, which pulls up some information. I'm going to hit the calculate button. It's going to calculate my X, Y, and Z and give me a very precise bearing that I formed on that line. I'm going to actually use the copy feature so that I don't have to remember it. And I'm going to now collect another point at my exact same location. I'm going to move down to my offset button. I'm going to click paste on my 157 degrees. My distance will be exactly 50 feet. My inclination will be 0. I hit save and save again. And you can see it has actually created an offset at exactly 50 feet in an exact straight line. So we can use this to find that third survey monument. And then we can actually use our find feature to do a pinpoint find. And because I have sub-inch precision, I'm actually going to use this to get within exactly an inch of this location. And there we are. I'm right at 1 inch accuracy on that point. So again, this video demonstrated how to use those 3 features in the field that we discussed: buffer in the field, buffer a polygon, and offset with a bearing. Now we're going to do an export to the data to show you what the polygon is going to look like once you do the export. Now we're going to jump out to Orbitos RMS. So I'm already logged in, and there's the job that I've created. So I'm going to select that job, go up to Actions Export, and I'm going to select the Molpus Buffered Polygon Export. I'm also going to select for my coordinate system a really cool feature we also set up for you called Auto UTM Zone. And that's going to automatically determine the zone that it needs to go to. So I click Export, and it goes into my queue. It's going to run. It'll take a few seconds. When it's done, that green arrow will show up to download, and I'm going to download it to my desktop and then extract the zip files. Then what I'm going to do is navigate over to where I extracted those files, which was the name of the job, and then I'm going to grab my shapefiles and drag them over into QGIS to show you what their shapefile is going to look like. So there it is in QGIS. It's going to open up a dialog, and I want to show you the dialog. I'm going to drag it onto my screen, and you can see that it automatically determined that that was UTM zone 17. So that's what the auto UTM zone will do. And now what we can do is turn on and off those layers. You can see the individual line layer is still exported, and if I identify on any of those features, you can see it has the exact linear distance of each line as well as the buffer distance that I added in. You can turn on the layer that we called spray area, which is the region minus the buffer distances. So that could be uploaded to a spray polygon. We have the entire stand polygon, which is automatically created. And then finally, we have the just removed polygon sections. Okay, I hope this video was helpful in helping you to understand those 3 advanced features that have been added for Molpus.